we stood up the first ever adoption unit housed within the Department of Child Services here in the state of Indiana, and we're empowering truly those family case managers to do just that, to have those resources and to make it, to keep the main thing, and make it their main mission to find those permanent homes and loving parents and unite the two. Terry and her team at the Department of Child Services have, in just that short window of time, doubled the number of adoption consultants from 7 to 19 now on the ground. And I will say again, most importantly, have equipped them with the resources and the training they need to do their jobs. They've launched an enhanced database for better tracking of adoption inquiries and a digital picture book of Indiana's waiting children. And, oh, by the way, they're currently in the process of rolling out a statewide adoption rapid permanency review designed to bring that, again, permanency to children and promote that systemic change within our child welfare system. Thanks to the team at DCS and the team, our federal partners, our team upstairs in the Indiana courts led by Chief Justice Loretta Rush, and with the support of everyone, that collaboration which has really been key to the progress and to this success, I'm proud to say in the last year, 2,489 children have been adopted. And that 2,489 number is not just a number. I hope folks understand the positive, far-reaching ripple effect that number has. I make a lot of job announcements, and those in many respects pale in comparison to the impact that 2,489 number is having on our families in our state, and the opportunities, true opportunities people will have to realize their God-given talents and their future. So that's got to be the best number that I can or maybe ever will be able to share, but we're not stopping there. We have more work to do, and you'll hear from a chorus of examples of folks who have taken this step, and Devontae and Xavier, who know now, you'll see, maybe hear from them here in a few, who actually know and have felt the warm embrace of that permanent and forever home. We're talking about daily hugs every day, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, priceless. And their mom and dad are here, Amy and Brent, and their big sisters are here to join us today. This is truly, you're going to see it, a special bond. And again, you'll all be up in just a couple moments. I'm also looking to my right here at my buddy, Josh Christian Oswald, who's with us, I say again, because you've been with us on this journey every step of the way, and we've learned so much from your insight and from your experience, and now you're continuing to share that at the national level for our nation. And so the impact that you've had here in Indiana, immense, and our loss here in Indiana is the nation's gain, and it's so good to see you back home in Indiana again. We're happy that you're here. Josh, as I understand it, I asked you earlier, you're 23 years old, and you were in the system, so to speak, and had been in 18 different homes. But you just most recently have experienced your permanent and forever loving home. And we're so happy and touched by that. And every citizen deserves this. And that's what our mission is here today, and to have that family that they can call their own, and it to be permanent, and to have mentors surrounding them. That is truly what is going to make a difference long term in not just their lives, but in our state We've come a long way, but as you'll soon hear, we have still a ways to go. And we're not going to let up for 1 second. We have over 1,000 children in just Indiana who are seeking that forever home. And so we take that as our assignment. And we're looking not just to be there for them, to connect with them, but to share the good word all across the state of Indiana. And so others feel compelled to step forward. And I say to the Assistant Secretary who's with us today, Lynn Johnson, who we are all in. We heard you, we took the challenge, and we're going to be all in. And if there's anything more than being all in, we're that too. We just appreciate, and I'll turn it over to you, but Madam Secretary, we just appreciate your commitment and your compassion and your passion for this, your partnership. This is what truly has been fueling to our efforts here. To know that we were on the right track, to know that we were taking the right steps, to know that we were connecting on the ground with real folks, with real circumstances, but to kind of meet you all, and you all say, we see that and we raise you, and let's get at this together. We really appreciate that. And I'll turn it over to the Assistant Secretary Johnson now, because I understand you have some more of your own good news to share. Madam Secretary.
Thank you so much, Governor. It is such a thrill to be in Indiana. I am enjoying this visit, and what beautiful weather, and thank you for not having humidity. That is so important to me. DC humidity is something to get used to. This is a very exciting day for children and youth across this state. For many years, national data would show an increase every year in the number of children entering foster care and average numbers on adoption. But during the past 4 years, after an extremely strong focus by the Trump administration and through the Children's Bureau, these trends are changing. I am pleased to say that the number of children throughout our country in foster care has dropped, and adoptions from the child welfare system, they're at historic highs. A special thank you to your Indiana Chief Justice Loretta Rush, who has joined with the governor and the Department of Child Welfare to make a difference in these adoption numbers, because it takes a system, it takes a community, it takes everybody to make something happen. And Chief Justice Rush said to me earlier today, she said, we want to make Indiana the most adoption-friendly state in this nation. And I will honestly say, I think you are on the way to do that. So one of the tools of my office at the Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families is to reward states who are doing a good job on adoption. We have a pot of money called Adoption and Legal Guardianship Incentive Awards. These are cash awards given to states that increase the number of children in foster care who achieve permanency through adoption or legal guardianship. Today, I happily announce of the 49 states that are receiving cash awards, Indiana is at the top of the list. Yes, literally, Indiana is the best in this country. Well done, Indiana. In 2019, Indiana had close to 2,500 adoptions from foster care. You heard the governor talk about that. In 2018, your state had just over 2,000, which is a huge climb over the 1,100 in 2015. You see where I'm going, right? Way up, up and up. Indiana has been a leader in promoting adoption from foster care. And children in foster care in Indiana will have safe, loving, permanent homes, because the determination of this governor, of this team, of this Chief Justice is amazing. So Governor Holcomb, I present to you the Adoption and Legal Guardianship Incentive Award for Indiana of nearly $5 million, which is 11% of the entire country's incentive awards this year. Thank you, Governor, and thank you to your team for making this happen. Thank you for supporting the youth who are aging out of the systems and helping them get their forever homes. You all in Indiana are working hard to promote a culture of life by focusing on adoptions and child welfare. Congratulations. I am so honored to be here today to present this check for all of your hard-earned efforts. Keep up this good work because Indiana's children and youth deserve loving, safe, and forever homes, and I know they're going to get them. Thank you. It is an honor to be here. Thank you.
This goes to your account.
Oh. Is it good? Okay. Thank you, Assistant Secretary Johnson. Words cannot express our gratitude here in Indiana. And while we stand here celebrating a success, it's important to acknowledge here at DCS we remain committed to continuous improvement, always. Now, our average time to adoption is 332 days from termination of parental rights, and we know that we can still do better. If we want to offer the best service possible to Hoosier families and children, we have to be willing to constantly examine how we do our jobs and consider ways that we can do them better. We have to engage those we serve and ensure their voices shape our policy and our practice. I can't count the number of times that I've reached out to the young man I'm about to introduce to you for just that reason. Josh Christian Oswald, a former foster youth, has proven to be a faithful advocate for children in DCS care. He has used his experience and his voice to provide unique insight to DCS and its partners, and the child welfare system is getting better because of his efforts. So now, I would like to introduce you to Josh Christian Oswald.
Thank you, Director Stigman. Hi, folks. My name is Josh Christian Oswald, and today I'm here as the Youth Engagement Coordinator for the Assistant Secretary, Lynn Johnson, and Associate Commissioner, Jerry Milner. I'd like to thank Governor Holcomb and Director Stigman for your passion and your commitment for all children and all families. These efforts is what led us here today. Indiana has received the largest adoption incentive award in the country. Prior to interning with the federal team, I became a foster care advocate throughout the years and have joined several national groups and in efforts to advance the system. This is a special moment because I'm a Hoosier and I grew up in Indiana's foster care system. A system that I spent almost 2 decades in. I am the baby out of 6 biological siblings. I currently have about 13 nephews and nieces in foster care. I would like to share a few journeys, a few chapters of my journey right now. And first, at the age of 4, I was locked in a dark room and I started to pray. And I haven't stopped since then. At the age of 13, I moved into a juvenile detention center simply because I did not have parents, not because I did anything wrong. Without the proper legal representation, at age 13, after moving into the juvenile detention center, I had asked the court to let me age out. It is unacceptable when young people's needs are not met, when they enter a system due to no fault of their own. Upon entering college, my bubby, Kenny is what I call him, I decided to try, he decided to try to commit suicide because Kenny always had a smile on his face. He was a great guy, but at the end of the day, his needs were not met. Given Kenny's failed adoption, I became his guardian and made decisions for him, and shortly after that he passed. It hurt to see him suffer, but I forced a smile on my face and held tears back when I told him to run to God and I'll see him soon. 1 week before I turned 18, my case manager and mentor asked me to move into their house. And I almost said no because I didn't feel like I deserved a family. But today I am both humbled and privileged to say that I was officially adopted almost 2 weeks ago on September 4th, 2020. Into the Oswald family. My name is now Joshua Christian Oswald, and being a part of the Oswald family is an amazing feeling. It brings a feeling of being content for me. We open both our hearts and our home up to alumni who have aged out of care in the community around us. However, I cannot say the same for the 20,000 young people who age out nationwide who do not have a family or support system. This is not okay, but there is hope. And I'm working alongside people like Governor Holcomb, Director Stigman, and Assistant Secretary Johnson to bring hope to the hopeless. We are making important changes like being intentional with getting youth and children adopted into loving forever homes by helping families before they are in crisis and help them get out of a crisis. I speak for many others when I say I appreciate the leadership of Governor Holcomb, Assistant Secretary Lynn Johnson, and Director Stigdon. Your efforts have provided a necessary catalytic for much needed change to the child welfare system. You have my commitment that I will do everything that I can to help this system. For many of us, creating change in this system is our calling. A system that can be best for all children and all families. Thank you.
So this recognition comes at a time when it's challenging for so many to serve, when efforts to wrap around who's your children in need are they're more important than ever. But DCS does not do this alone. We share these responsibilities and this success with so many others dedicated to helping children as a part of this system. Our lawmakers, our judicial officers, our community partners and service providers, our countless volunteers, our kinship and foster families, and of course, our adoptive parents who have answered the call to be all in. Indiana is receiving this award because they are willing to put Indiana's children first. DCS makes every effort to reunite children with their caregivers, but the truth of the matter is that's just not always possible. When adoption becomes the best plan for a child in DCS care, our attention is on the dedicated people who express interest in permanently expanding their families. They open their hearts and their homes, just like Josh said. There truly is no greater gift than to give a child a home. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce a couple that did just that. During my first week as a director of DCS, I had the honor of meeting with the Fox family and seeing firsthand the love that they have for two little boys that they were fostering at the time. On July 10th, 2019, Amy and Brent Fox changed these two little boys' lives forever. So I would like to invite them to share their story with you now.
Supposed to talk in this is what he said. So I just want to start off and express our congratulations to you, Director Stigdon, and all of your staff. This is an exciting day for you and everyone that's involved in helping kiddos to find forever homes. And we know personally how this represents so much of an amazing impact that you and your team are having in the lives of so many families. And so we just want to say thank you and congratulations. And thank you so much for the honor and privilege to be able to be here today. And thank you, Governor, as well. For the invitation to be able to be here and represent foster and adoptive families. And I just want to start off by giving you a quick glimpse into our story. My wife and I, we first started to talk about feeling led to step into foster care when our youngest daughter was about 6 weeks old. And then we spent the next 10 years trying to actually ignore that conviction because we were too scared and it seemed like way too much for us to handle. Shortly after her 10th birthday, we realized we had spent the last decade talking about it and not doing anything else. And so we realized that we either were going to step up and do something about it or we weren't going to talk about it again. And I heard someone say, and it really just stuck with me, they said, our no might be much more difficult on them than our yes may ever be on us. And that really resided in my heart. And so the next day, we said yes. And we began our licensing process. And in that process, we made it very clear that we had the capacity for one child. So we were licensed for the one. And we picked up our son on July 2017 in the DCS office, and he was about 10 months old at the time. And we were excited to have one more child into our home and to love on him and to allow him to be part of our family. And then about a couple of weeks later, we actually received a call again that said that he had a baby brother. And so we brought his 7-week-old preemie baby brother home to be in our house about 1 month later. And so yes, you can do the math. That makes 2 kiddos that we added to our home. And we doubled the amount of kids in our family in a short amount of time. But we would not have it any other way for sure. And we are excited that we adopted our sons on July 10th, 2019. And we are awesome, we love our kiddos, and as you can see, they're having a lot of fun here as well.
So as our son's adoptive parents, we have so much still to learn. But we would love to share with you today a few of the things that we know to be true, that we have learned on our foster care and adoption journey. Number 1, we had to just do it afraid. Our fears and uncertainties and doubts and insecurities did not go away once we said yes. And so if you are hearing this today and you have considered stepping into fostering or adopting, we just want to encourage you today to simply take your first step. Number 2, we are not extra strong or really special or super brave. We are regular, normal people that simply chose to say yes. In fact, we hear often from those either strangers or friends and family, I could never do something like that. I could never do what you do. And we understand because we used to say the same thing. But we want you to know that we're not super brave. There's nothing that happened that made us really strong. We're just normal people. We do not have it all together, as you can tell. And I am certainly still trying to figure out how to be a boy mom. So I say often, nothing changed except for yes, and yes changed everything. And then number 3, we believe that everyone can do something. We know that not everyone is meant to or can foster and adopt, but we believe that every single one of us can do something to help care for the marginalized and vulnerable children in our state. Throughout our foster care journey, we have had so many people that have come alongside us to support us. And these people did not sign up for foster care, but they simply chose to step into it with us and to walk alongside us. And those people are a part of our family's story forever. They have made a lasting impact on our children that will go far beyond our years. And we are forever grateful for them. And so I encourage each of us to find our something. What is your something? Can you deliver a meal? Can you send a card? Can you say a prayer? Can you mow a lawn? Can you read to or tutor a young child? Can you mentor an older or aging out youth? Everyone can do something. We believe very strongly, and as you've heard today, that every child in Indiana belongs in a family, and families need support. And so every one of us can do something. Thank you.